Oh yeah. It's a pleasant Sunday morning to you all. Good morning and welcome. It's Sunday morning live on FM here in the studios of OGBC 90.5 in Abeokuta with me, Wolle Otayemi. A look at the engineering world, building a sustainable future, the role of engineering on national development. You agree with me that engineering is as old as man himself. The art of design, the art of construction, the art of building, and using of engineering techniques and skills to bring forth something that will be useful for humanity. From water engineering to aeronautics engineering, where you fly plane from one end to the other, building, construction, mechanical, mention it, different areas. But they keep saying something. They will tell you engineers are solution providers. My guest this one will be telling us about that cliche that says engineers are service providers. I am joined in the studios this morning by the 17th chairman of Nigerian Society of Engineers, Abeokuta branch, Engineer Olumuyiwa. He was just installed yesterday during the investiture ceremony, and I said that his tenure will usher in more prowess and success for engineering profession in our society, and he has promised to liaise with all relevant stakeholders to make engineering a more fruitful venture. Engineer Olumuyiwa, first, congratulations to you on your ascension to power of Nigerian Society of Engineers of the State branch.
Thank you so much, Mr. For the congratulation message again this morning. Good morning, viewers. Good morning, listeners.
You are correct. Both because they are watching this program on all our social media platforms. Right. So it's live on Facebook.
All right. So good morning, both listeners and viewers at home. I remain Engineer Olumuyiwa, a fellow of Nigerian Society of Engineers, the 17th chairman of the Nigerian Society of Engineers Abeokuta branch, and of course, the youngest ever holder position in the 47-year-old history of the branch.
Now, engineering. You people used to say something that engineers are solution providers. What does it mean? To those who are listening to what I've done this morning.
Yeah, thank you so much, Engineer. I'm calling you Engineer already, Mr. Otayemi. Yes, engineers are solution providers. Yes, we are problem solvers. If you look at engineering, it's the backbone of modern civilization. If you look at all the problems we have in our society, it can only be solved by engineers.
But sometimes engineers created the problems.
Like what, sir? Can you give an example?
The warfare, the bombs, the missiles. Who designed? Who manufactured? Is it? I don't know the engineers. Even in the military, we have engineers in the military.
Thank you so much. I will answer your question in this manner. If you look at people in security, what is the purpose of these people in security? They are to protect lives and property. And now, so if you look at this bomb, is to guide against terrorism. So we are designing this kind of equipment to protect lives, to protect infrastructures, to protect properties. So we are not designing it as a way of causing problems to people. We are problem solvers. We look after the welfare of people in our society, how to make their life much more better, how to make their life much more convenient. Let me give an example. Before, we used to communicate, maybe we send in the olden days, they used to send message through horses from one distance to another. Engineers look at, we can't continue like this. They started looking for way of coming up with mobile phone to communicate within a second. Now you travel from here to Abuja, which takes like maybe hours. Engineers, okay, fine. It needs to be better. You need to make life much more easier and convenient for people. So they come up with what? Aeroplane. So we are problem solvers. We look every day to make we look into in details every day how to make life much more better for people. So even as you are sitting here now, we look at, okay, fine, it's okay for us to be speaking to people at home in this manner, but how can we make it much more better? How to make it much more convenient for people? Let's do it in a better way. Let's do it in a more convenient way. So that's what brings out innovative idea of engineers. So now, what are the problems we're having in our society? We look at power issue, we look at road infrastructure, we look at all sort of things. So that's engineers are problems. Even if you have your money on ground, your money will not solve this problem without these technical ideas, innovative ideas from engineers. So we are the number one, of course, professional body in Nigeria. We are number one profession in the whole world. You know, when God in the world created, you know, what? You're a pastor now.
No, no, I don't.
So the art of creation is also
God
what
created heaven and earth.
So the art of
And
creation
put
is
animals and other creatures.
God created. The art of creation
So
is
God
also
created engineers. That's it.
Thank you. Now God Himself is an engineer. That's where I want to start from. For you to create something, because you need to think that, oh, how is it going to look like? How am I going to design this? You need to put some things into factor. So our God is number one engineer. So if God is an engineer, it's like, okay, let me be an engineer. Then okay, other professions can now even follow. So engineers are the problem solvers who will look after the welfare of our people and how to make their life much more better.
Let's look at engineering. The field of engineering numerous: civil, mechanical, structural. I mentioned it. Aeronautic, water engineers, and every other thing. What really makes that profession unique? What really?
All right. Thank you. If you look at the profession engineering, and we it cut across so many divisions, so many disciplines, because we look at it that engineering is a very broad, discipline and area, and we now look at need for um, each engineers to focus on a particular area. We have civil engineers that focus on road, bridges, under infrastructures. Electrical electronics engineering, they focus on power, telecoms, and the likes. We have chemical engineers, you see them at NNPC, oil and gas, power plants, and so on and so forth. Maybe beverages, all these food, Nestle, and all those companies. So we have these different disciplines so that each one of them can focus primarily on each area. And by focusing on this area, they will be able to address issues in that area. We have petroleum engineers, we have marine engineers, we have aeronautic engineers, we have food engineers. Like we look at, somebody was asking me yesterday that why food engineering. I said we have mechanical engineers that work around equipment in a food company, but we now look at the issue that maybe they need to consider some things while maybe putting all lubrication in all this equipment. They need to like, okay, are they not going to contaminate
The items are
items they
producing.
are producing? So okay, let's have food engineers. They are going to think in that direction. So we have different disciplines of engineering, each one focusing on each area.
Okay. How can we now use engineering to power the economy?
Thank you. Like I said earlier on, that engineering is the modern, is the backbone of modern civilization. Now, every aspect of development, every aspect, be it infrastructure, transportation, energy, health, ICT, agriculture, they all depend on engineering solutions. So these are the things that our economic growth depends upon. So now, if engineers are the ones that are providing solutions to authority, it will not be possible for us to achieve sustainability. So we make use of engineering to power economics by working on all these areas that I just mentioned, infrastructures. We know what infrastructures bring to our economy. We know what agriculture brings to our, we have agriculture engineer. We know what agriculture brings to our, so engineers are solution providers that provide solutions that solve challenges in all these areas, sectors of economies, like infrastructure that I just mentioned about. Like you know what infrastructures mean. Even let's start from roads now. moving from one location to another, transportation of goods and commodities from one area to another. So for each area of economy, engineers are the ones pushing it forward.
Now, you mentioned roads, you mentioned in construction, construction of roads, bridges, dams, and the rest of them are still very much powered by the foreign experts. What is the problem?
Yes, thank you.
Because I know we have enough engineers in this country.
Number one, we have enough engineers in this country that can do all these things. Um, I would like to go back to the former president, President Muhammad Buhari, that signed Executive Order 5 on local contents, which makes it um, which compulsory that all these projects should be carried out by local engineers in order to encourage um, involvement of Nigerian engineers. But the implementation of this order is something that is not yet um, that has not come into place fully, which I want to urge our government to ensure full implementation of this Executive Order 5. Now, if you can implement it fully, I can assure you, you will see that most of the projects will be Nigeria will be given opportunity to handle most of this project. It is not that they don't have the capacity; they have the capacity to handle this project. They can do it. They have the skills. They have the knowledge. They have everything. We can see Nigerian engineers outside Nigeria doing wonders. Why can't they do it in Nigeria? I can mention names. I can mention give you names. Even when we talk about security issues, we have Nigerian engineers, one even very close to us here, coming up with solutions that can detect hideout of, the terrorists, even in Sambisa forest, and of course, it's going to pick out the locations, different ideas, different innovations. And when you come to roads, bridges, dams, of course, I can tell you with my full chest, 100%, that Nigerian engineers, they have the skills, they have knowledge, they have everything to handle this project. All I just want is I just want to appeal to our government to patronize and believe much more in Nigerian engineers, give them the opportunity to carry out this project instead of inviting foreigners.
Engineer Maiwa, I don't know whether whether the area you live in Abeokuta is a choice area that has electricity in the last couple of days. Where we live, there have been no power supply in the last 3 weeks. Some of our neighbors now use petrol to pump water, not even to power their homes because they cannot afford. As an engineer, we can do to find all these power outages, anomalies. Some people say it's backwardness. After 64 years of independence, we still use qualified quite a number.
Thank you for that question. I must agree with you that over the last 1 year, we've been having issue of grid collapse in our country.
Yeah, I want you to mention it by yourself.
Okay, we've having issue of grid collapse in our country.
Yes,
and it has occurred many times. I think I've answered this question in several
in different fora.
Even on Galaxy TV, and all these issues that we are talking about boils down to the infrastructures we have in our power system in Nigeria. That is the first thing. Now, most of the infrastructure, uh, power infrastructure that we have in our in our country now, they are of old. They cannot meet up with our requirements. We need to start to look at what is the required um, what do we require in terms of power in our country? Then what are we even generating in Nigeria? What are we transmitting? Do we have enough power? Do we have enough power that we are generating? So number one, we are not generating enough power to go around, and our equipment as well, they are of very very old. Um, there is need for government to invest in our power systems, and if all these problems, if we are not ready to tackle it, we are just moving around
The same cycle.
the same cycle.
Because
So we are not.
why I'm asking you this is that some people were saying that, okay, if it is privatized, there will be better productivity. It has been privatized now for 12 solid years, and we are still very much in the same doldrum, moving around the same cycle, no movement, no development, no movement, no achievements recorded over the years, except spending billions upon billions, even paying estimations all over the place. So, what can engineers, what can you design that will leverage on the current trend in the whole world to make Nigerians at least enjoy some little bit of respite in terms of our generation and distribution?
Thank you. It's not that we cannot do it as a Nigerian engineer. Like I said earlier on, that the problem is aging infrastructure that we have. Another problem is poor maintenance. Then there is over reliance on national grid. We need to come up with other renewable solutions. Also,
Like,
work on. I'm going to even give an example of a country in China and how they go about it. And like I said, that currently we our grid capacity fluctuates like between 4,000 and 5,000 megawatts, and that's why we have installed capacity of 12,000 megawatts. But this capacity is not yet installed. These are the problems we have, and of course, we cannot get it right unless we solve it. Now, what are the solutions? Now, we look at all these problems one after the other. I mentioned aging infrastructure. Now, our government needs to be very sincere by ensuring that we come up with infrastructures that can meet our needs. And also, government policy is something that is affecting us. Government policy and planning. This is something that China will not even joke with at all. China generates regular electricity through different diversified, well structured energy mix. So, if we can come up with these things, of course, we'll get it right by the grace of God. We need to ensure we diversify our energy mix by not focusing much more on national grid. We have different ways by which we can also generate electricity. Yes, you mentioned that privatization, maybe they should return it to government and all these things. You know, most of the things that are affecting us in Nigeria is about policy, switch. Are we really ready
sorry.
uh, to implement all these things fully as a country in order to move our society forward? In some country, they are making use of smart grid to ensure that they enhance the electricity distribution system. Do in Nigeria to have ensure that we have a regular power supply.
Okay, let's look at other areas of engineering because it's a very broad spectrum of discipline for humanity. Some people will tell you any organization that does not have an engineer is not existing. Is it true?
Any organization that does not have engineer is not existing. It is 100% true, sir. And I'm going to
Okay.
now. I'm not even going to give you an example. I'm going to ask you to give me a name of any organization or any company without engineers, and let me see how we can move forward. I'm going to start from here. We are in a broadcasting station. Microphone, transmitter, console, period, everything, technical engineering. So if there is no transmitter, there is no way people at home will be able to hear me. Now let's leave from here. Let's move to bank. You told me it's fully like money, right? No. Now your transactions, even in bank, your transactions to send money, internet that they used to connect from one to another, their local area network, everything. It's still IT, still tech world. Now let's leave bank. Let's go to e-commerce. If you want to sell goods, all this Jumia, everything, they make use of what?
Engineering.
Now I don't want to talk about road control. I want to talk about electricity. These are things that people are well familiar with. I want to talk about things. Let's go to education now. You do your online class now. You do everything. You sit at home. People even now study from here in one Nexford University MBA program here in Nigeria, and they do everything virtually. You have conference meeting. It is still technical, and it's still down to engineering. So there is no organization. There is no society that will thrive without engineering. So engineering is is the answer to all problems if you are really if you are serious and if you are sincere to move the country forward.
So are you telling me that engineers can equally work on reducing building collapse?
Of course.
Mm.
Now, when you look at building collapse, let's start with the cause of building collapse, and then let's see how we can solve it. Now, it is not even the engineers that cause building collapse.
I've not said engineers cause
Now,
it.
so you said engineers should how can reduce it now? Now,
maybe you have a professional advice or
I'm going to answer your question, sir.
So go ahead.
Now, when you look at building collapse, now what are the causes of building collapse? Now, and that's going to answer how I'm going to advise audience on how to solve this problem. Building collapse are maybe caused by substandard use of materials, maybe making use of quark, want to maximize profits, and all these things. Like I told my brother a few days ago on TV that the problem is by the owner of that building. So I'm going to advise the owner of the building to follow the right thing, to do the right thing by ensuring that they make use of quality material to carry out the engineering project on his or her site, by also ensuring that they follow the approved diagram, approved designs, so not to be not targeting that you want to maximize profit. Let me increase the number of building, number of rooms, number of shops. So I'm going to advise the owner of that building to ensure that the project is being carried out by a professional registered engineer and not just quack, in order to reduce the cost of carrying out the project.
Engineer Idowu, all your suggestions that you have made this morning on improving the power generation, supply, and distribution, one thing will come to the mind: where do we get the financial strength to power this thing? Because my first question this morning was, how can engineers improve the economy of this country? How can they help in improving the economy of this country? So how can you get financial strength to power all power projects? In some countries, they don't use dam again. Their own dam is for agriculture, but our own, we don't even know what we are doing with it. So where is the financial strength to power this thing? Is there any engineering solution to that financial issue? I doubt it, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Olumuyiwa. I'm going to answer your question in this manner.
Okay, go ahead.
We have different issues in Nigeria. Now, we have some set of people, professionals that can solve this problem. Now, even if you bring your money to the table, you need to look for people that will tackle this problem. Yes. Now, our governments, they go outside Nigeria with some foreign bodies to get funds in order to implement some of the projects. You agree with me? Some of even the road projects that we have that are being, constructed by engineers, not that the funds, the government knows how to get the funds with all these international bodies, and also some of the revenue generated by our countries. So I think I've answered your question on how to get funds to solve the issue of power.
I thought NSC or Koren and we help the government in pumping some money. We people used to pay for monthly, annual subscription.
Now,
can't you borrow government or partner government in some of these finances?
All right,
with your technical know-how and financial vibrance, now we can do something.
Number one, we provide technical solutions to problems. Now, our own deals is to ensure the society keeps floating.
That's why
the deals we have in our society, even the Nigerian Society of Engineers, we can't compare it with the budget of Ogun State.
I understand.
So
I understand.
Our money is
your money is a bigger amount.
So
yourself, Engineer Mosuru, is there.
So our own deals is just a token out of just to ensure that we keep on to enhance the capacity of our members, professional development, so that they can be better for the needs of society when they bring up this project.
I can understand, because me as a member of the NUG, we will pay a little change to keep afloat. It's Sunday morning live on FM here in the studios of OGBC 90.5. We'll be taking a look at using engineering to power the economy. business in Nigeria. And our guest has been the newly installed chairman of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Abeokuta branch, Engineer Olumuyiwa. He has been proffering solutions to some of the issues we have had on ground. He has spoken about using Nigeria to power the economy, speaking about electrical power supply, talking about the obsolete equipment we have in different sectors of engineering in Nigeria. And he has equally told me that even what we are doing here, if engineers were not part of it, we won't be heard or seen anywhere in the world. And so we'll start taking reactions now on how to use engineering to power the economy of Nigeria. The first caller already is on the line. Hello, good morning. Let's have your say, Carl. Thanks for calling.
Thank you, Mr. Kayode.
I got you very well, and I was very, very glad to have you here. But then I want to ask you, I know that you are not the one that discovers all those tools or components that you came about to discover all those things that you buy this morning. Can you tell us exactly who are those ones who can discover all those facts for you to be able to design and construct all what you have mentioned this morning, so that we'll be able to enlighten the kids at home that yes, the application of scientific discovery and some people who come together even before the engineers to be able to do scientific discovery. That's one. Then two, sir. Now we are strong the engineers, Nigerian engineers, to begin to construct for us or design outside the weapons like guns, like missiles, etc. That people tackle the issue of insecurity in Nigeria today. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl, for your time with us this morning. 003-437-9453 0226 are the two numbers to call this morning. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Mr. Kayode.
Thanks for calling this morning, sir.
I am Mr. Otayemi. I'm calling from Okiata. And good morning to our guest, Engineer Olumuyiwa.
Good morning, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
On the new way that you're talking this morning, I'll tell you what. But I want to call on your association. I want to call on your association at the national level now to advise the government on how to have regular power supply in Nigeria. You don't need to keep talking. Advise the government. In advanced countries, they have regular power supply. And that is why they have developed technologically. Why is it not possible in Nigeria? Look at China. So we need to take a cue from those countries that are doing it better than us. We are far behind. Please, advise the government. And I think we need engineering people. Those people are solution providers. Please advise the government on what to do. I want to thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, Mr. Olatunde Ajayi, for calling this morning. 003-437-9453 0815-032-0226. You can equally watch this program live on our Facebook page at oguradio.com, and you can equally see us on our YouTube page. You can follow us on Radio Garden by going to Radio Garden, scroll down to Abeokuta, scroll down to OGBC 90.5. You listen to this program live. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Wolle.
Thanks for calling, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, Engineer Idowu.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much. My name remains Wolle Owoshieni, calling from Idowu. Engineer Idowu, I am aware that almost 50% of the engineers we have in Nigeria are in overseas countries working for different nations. What stops you? Or are you telling me that the political will is not there to give the way forward you from advising the government, or are you telling us that the political will is not there? Because like Mr. Olatunde Ajayi had said, you are problem solvers, you are solution providers, and you see a lot of things going wrong in this nation, and nothing is done to it. Today, the national grid will collapse. Tomorrow, it will collapse. Another day, it will collapse. Why is the government not yielding to your advice if you are advising them?
Okay.
Or are you not advising them?
Okay.
That's my concern this morning. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Elder Wosheni from Ilaro. National grid collapsed 12 times before the end of last year, or the 2024, they broke 12 times. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thanks for calling.
My name is Mechanic Danny calling from Mandela.
Thanks for calling.
I don't know maybe if one is telling me that make it hot 6, but it will not work for you in Jesus' name.
Amen.
You say the only thing is you don't know me that the engineer is not the cost of collapsing building and the full out time. When the past administration is there. When you have a lot of engineers that is not useful, we don't bother about ourselves. My father told me that the nation mapper was invented by Nigeria, and on the map always invented by Nigeria. But I never tried to know the truth. But I believe that 61%. One thing that we did not get anything special, but in the most in Nigeria, everybody is of the government. And we want to go to school and make them to learn one thing or the other, one skill or the other. We don't invent it. What is the concept? We have done ourselves to one go to white man life. And the house that is collapsing, the engineer made the substantial what it is. But they're trying to use it. What are you going to do for those work that connect people's money? They go to the wrong food. About Nigerian building and other things. What are you doing about that?
Okay.
That is my question. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much, Emeka Big Dad. It's going to attend to each of the questions you have asked this morning. You have talked about collapsed building. You have talked about fighting quackery in the profession. Hello, good morning. Kindly put off your radio or move away from your radio set when you are calling. It wasn't we weren't audible, couldn't hear you. So that's why we have to just continue with that call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, your name?
I'd like to give you a good night.
Thanks for calling, Alaji.
I'm calling from Villa.
Yes, sir.
The other, I went to our engineer.
Yes.
And the other was with accidentally. It is the government that controlling this what so called engineering sector, or the government open it up for private individual to come in. For you three engineers to come together to do wonder. That you want the company to do wonder. But if you are still here, it is not the accepting government to you to do it. We are still giving our time. So I need the engineer, the unions to look in that area. The government should open up the issue of the engineering sector, the electrical sector, what's called the infrastructure and everything. That people should come in. The government has no business in business. If the government continue to do this, this is what you are going to get.
Okay.
In such of this, what's called power now, they are 150. When they get out of period, it's too much for the government. It's expensive. So, that's right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Alaji Omitogunwa from Iliakari Estate. You have made your point. It's like it's government impeding the activities of engineers in Nigeria. What can be done to bring more sanity? Let's add this one, then you respond.
Hello?
Can you move away from your radio set?
Yes.
Or you switch it off?
The question I'm going to ask about the importance or impact of the the mechanical engineers in the hospital or medical sector. We have a lot of equipment. Go to the University of Nigeria, University of Nigeria, where there was a flood disaster. New machines were damaged, the last machines were damaged for cancer rescue. It's still there. We are still waiting for people to get it repaired. The practices are not there. But we have a Nigerian engineer. So it seems that the way I look at Nigerians, we are working in members. So go away, go my way, I'm not good at it. When you work in conjunction together with cooperation, then there will be progress. We're not going abroad looking for experts to come and repair our machines and medical equipment for us in Nigeria. It is the way that we are looking at it.
Your name, sir?
We should look at that point.
Your name, sir? Oh, he didn't tell us his name. Okay, let's have a reaction, engineer Idowu.
All right. I have a lot of questions to answer.
Too many, but
Let me-
you have explained quite a number of them. Kawade was asking you about who are the discoverers, who are those who have done the discoveries, and then the Nigerian engineers in the production of weaponry to fight banditry and terrorism.
Thank you, Mr. Wolle. Let me start with Kayode's question. Who are the discoveries of all this? Mr. Kayode, in engineering, we have all these things founded or maybe discovered by all these white people, and maybe like if you talk about light now, we might look at Christian Hughes, maybe in 1978, maybe the first civil engineer. You can look when he first construct things that makes him a civil engineer. But there is one thing I want you to know. There is what we call technological innovation, even as at now, since that time up to now. And what is that? The process of creating new things, making it much more better from what was discovered in the olden
ages
days,
past,
and now to suit our need at present
the current needs.
the current needs now. So day in, day out, years in, years out, even tomorrow, new engineers, even from Nigeria, they will come up with new things, new ideas that will suit our needs. And I'm going to mention one, even in Nigeria now.
Okay.
Now, one even from my branch, Abeokuta, I'm going to mention one. We produce, we have cement. When there was a time like the cost of cement due to other factors
Yes.
was increased.
Yes.
And this gentleman is a professor of engineer, Professor Kola Olonode,
Yes.
and tried to make use of cassava. We have
Yes.
cassava in Nigeria.
I featured him on this program.
Thank you.
And he spoke brilliantly about using cassava.
To produce,
I was about to ask you about that one.
to produce cement. So now these are ways at which tomorrow someone might now look at what Dr. Olonode has done and let me see how I can also improve on it. So that's what we call technological innovation. So even all this, the light, the everything, they started by white. We have Nigerians engineers too improving on what was discovered.
Who is Michael Faraday?
I'll come back to that.
Okay.
You have another call. You want to pick that?
No. We won't pick the call now.
Okay.
I want you to explain what you are
Okay.
with all the discoveries you are talking about.
Okay. So we have technological innovations which improvement on what is on ground to make life much more better. And let me quickly, because of that, let me quickly go to Olatunde Ajayi's question.
Okay.
And says calling on NSC on power issue.
Yes.
And I want to mention to Mr. Ajayi that for us as NSC, we are doing more than even enough. We are doing our best. I'm going to give an example right from Ogun State. Some months ago, we issued a statement on 500 million investment in Ogun State in order to power Ogun Lagos Water Axis. The fund was released by JICA. JICA is Japan Investment. Also, we urge government to ensure that these projects they involve Nigerian engineers so that they will have the put in local content to meet our needs and also be able to ensure that the projects will be fully implemented based on their plan. Apart from that, I'm going to give you another example. Even in Ogun State now, regularly in Abeokuta, we usually have these flood issues. Now, for us as engineers, Nigeria Site of Engineers Abeokuta, we identified 33 locations. We went around length and breadth of Abeokuta. We identified 33 locations where all these prone areas, the causes, and we made our recommendations. We have like a very comprehensive report we submitted to Ogun State government. That's as per flood. We even submitted that report to branch of environment as well, even when I came on board. Now, these are ways at which we are also approaching government, providing solutions, even
to some of the
at
challenges.
no cost. That okay, fine, we've discovered these issues, these are the ways we can tackle this problem. We're even giving them our recommendations and how to solve it. And I've mentioned the one on power issue, GCA 500 million investment. Now, even the same thing at our national
Level.
Even just last week, our president was with SGF on River Basin Development Authority issue. So we are doing our best by getting involved with government on how to solve all these challenges. Now, Engineer Wolle,
No,
Wole
Osheni,
Osheni
we're talking
asked
about over
over 50.
50% of engineers in Nigeria working abroad and doing well.
Now, it is not even engineers alone. Nigerians all over the world, they are doing very well. Nigerians are known to be very, very, we have intelligent people in our country, people with that are very, very innovative and they can come up with solutions. So it's not even Nigerian engineers. And for us as engineers, we have engineers even in Nigeria and even abroad that are doing well. Because we have some of our engineers outside Nigeria that are doing well, doesn't mean that some of engineers in Nigeria are not doing well. I can mention 3 people in Ogun, in Southwest. Now, they've approached Nigerian Defense Academy on solutions to security issues, and I was with one here in Ogun. I'm not going to mention him, producing security here in Ogun State.
Gadget that we can
use
to trace.
that are even better than what they've been using before. Even shooting range, he has it in his own firm. Now, there is one in Ibadan, Ayola. I'm not going to mention more than that. That I mentioned that I said that it discovered how to detect hideouts of criminals even in forest. So we have engineers. I'm not saying Nigerians in Southwest.
Yes,
that
can measure up.
Of course. So engineer Emeka Big
No,
Daddy.
he was talking about collapse building. We have explained that one. Collapse building as it occurred during last administration. That how can you fight against quackery? Those who are not fully qualified to do the job and are getting the job done.
Now, the question is, who are the one giving the job out? Now, like I said earlier on, that the owner of the job is the cause because you are the one giving the job to the quack. Now, if it is government, I'm going to urge government to ensure the job is given to people that are well qualified. If it is individual, private, I'm going to urge that person to ensure you give out your job to qualified, experienced engineer, so as to reduce this quackery. And somebody was asking about current and NSA and with government.
Yes.
Yeah. Now we have there are two different bodies. I don't want us to mix things up. We have Current. Current is Council for Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, which is under government, federal government of Nigeria. It's a body that regulates engineering. Underline the word regulates engineering. They are the regulatory body of engineering profession. Now we have Nigerian Society of Engineers. Ours is NSC, and we are not under government. We are an NGO. We are a professional body. We focus on how to make our society better. We focus on the professional needs of our members and so on and so forth.
Okay, let's go back to calls and take maybe 3 more. Then we'll wrap up the program. So I'm still going to ask you, what legacies are you going to leave behind in office? Being the youngest chairman of Abeokuta branch has produced, but that's my last question.
Your guest didn't answer my question very well. I think it's supposed not to be the white people. It should be scientists, mathematicians, and so on and so forth. The statistics are there. Who probably came up with the facts that the engineers are using to design and construct? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your time with us. I think it was his line that was blocking the other line. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, sir. You are better now. Thanks for calling, Alaji.
I want to believe what you are saying that everybody supposed to be an engineer. How? We are different. But there's one thing. We have direct opposite of real school engineering. For example, those who are doing houses have
Thank you so much, Alaji, for calling 003-437-9453. I want to take the last call this morning so that you will explain some of these few things and we'll wrap up your program. Okay, lucky to be the last caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, OGBC. Good morning, my chairman. This is Omoba Adewale. I'm calling from Ilaro. On a more serious note, I'd like to thank my chairman for giving us a very wide knowledge today about engineering. I think today engineering has been a broadening view, and he has been able to educate us much about engineering. But what I'd like us to do is that I'd like the government to partner with NSC at this point in order for us as engineers so that we can be able to solve some of the myriads of problems facing our country. Well, as it pertains to electricity, as it pertains to all of the social things, I think engineers will come in and solve it. So at this point, I would like the government to please join and partner with NSC so that we can solve the problem. Thank you very much, my chairman, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm Obagoke Adewale from Ilaro. Okay, well, that's how far I can go with calls this morning. Quickly, Alaji Omitogunwa was talking about, okay, you have explained that one, is government impeding your activities? You have to talk that we are partners in progress. We have done a lot of researches, we have done a lot of innovations that have sent to government, and that their government is not left for government to work on some of those things.
Yeah.
We have projected to them. That has answered that question. Alaji Ailabugo from Lanate was talking about local artisans who are doing engineering job, like bricklayer, like a mechanic, like this and that, who never had the four wall of the university's experience in that regard. How do you see their job? Are they all quacks or are they complementing you people's effort? That's what I was trying to ask.
All right.
Then your colleague from
Ilaro.
Ilaro was just eulogizing you and saying you have explained a lot of things. So you have only one question, and that has to do with Alaji Ailabogo from Nalate, local artisans doing the job of engineers.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Wale. Alaji Ailabu, your question. Let me explain this one. In engineering, we have different cadres and family, different members of the family. I'm not seeing them as local artisan per se. They have their own categories. We have engineers, we have engineering technologies, we have technicians, and we have craftsmen. It's just like in a family, you have father. In a family, you have mother, and you have children. Father, they have their own role, and the mother, of course, they are going to cook. They have their own role. We have children.
Sometimes fathers too cook.
So in engineering family,
yes,
engineers design. They are the supervisor. They do overall, but you not see engineers, mixing cement with all this things. So we have engineers, we have technologists, we have technicians, we have craftsmen. So these local artisans, based on their academic qualification and based on their experience, they can be categorized into craftsmen or technicians. They are also involved in engineering projects. So we work together. While they have their limitations due to experience and academic qualifications, engineers with their own wider experience, they supervise, they correct, they guide, and ensure everything come in place. And I think you asked me a question about the legacy.
You want to leave behind in the office. Okay. Because you are lucky to be the youngest chairman of your branch.
Yes, thank you. I'm going to, within a few seconds, we'll start from what we've done so far, and I will wrap it up with what I intend to do.
Just wrap up with what you intend to do.
Okay, what I intend to do, of course, we intend to ensure that our younger ones, in secondary schools, they are well equipped and they are encouraged enough to take up career in engineering, which we started already. And of course, we want to ensure that we enhance the capacity development of our members as well. We are working on strengthening the industry government collaborations with NSC, which is one of the things mentioned earlier on, and also with that, through that, by advancing engineering advocacy. This is part of what I'm also here to work on. We've done so much within the past few months, and we hope to do much more better, focusing on professional development of our members, strengthening industry and government collaborations, also assisting the younger ones to focus on STEM and take up career in engineering, and also support some of our members with these innovative ideas by the grace of God.
And I hope that the sponsorship of engineering and you will continue on OGBC during your tenure, so that you will not have a break. So that those young boys and girls in secondary schools that are already get used to listening to and watching that program every Monday will not be left in the lodge. They too will continue to listen and learn more about engineering. And I hope that you're going to have engineering schools, so that catch them your program will be part of your dream and aspiration.
Of course, we'll do that.
Okay,
Just last week,
that's
we
great.
had different secondary school in Abeokuta,
Lovely,
and we've
lovely.
done so much within the last 1 week, within the
I,
engineering week.
I want to wish
And
you
the
the best of
engineering
luck.
and you, of course, since it's still, we are still continuing the program on OGTV, of course, we'll continue the program here by the grace of God on OGB. So we are coming back, we'll be expecting us.
God bless you. Come back fully and come back bigger. That's the program this morning. I want to thank you, Engineer Olumuyiwa, Idowu, the 17th chairman of the Nigerian Society of Engineers Abeokuta branch, for being our guest today on this auspicious occasion of Sunday Morning Live on FM. This wonderful edition today, 9th day in the month of February. We hope to call you again and then have reflections with some of those things you have done. Well, on our Facebook page, we have Mrs. O.A. Ajebowu JP. She has been following, and she said, "Good morning to you, happy Sunday, and thank you for doing a wonderful job." The way she has acknowledged your presence here today. I won't be able to take more of reactions on Facebook again this morning, but I want to urge you what we'll do on our Facebook page. I am produced this morning by Bengal Shidele, ably assisted by Abiodun Ogundepe. Engineer Mayowa Idowu is accompanied to the studios by another engineer of repute, Engineer Lamidi Monsur, a fantastic to appreciate God in you people's lives. Temitope Valola has been the announcer on duty, working closely with me this morning. Folake Shoeton has been part of the team with our engineering job this morning. And I have Dr. Idowu pressing all the right buttons. My name is Wolle Otayemi. Do everything humanly possible to make humanity happy. That is one of the stands of the engineers, and give them support so that they will move Nigeria to the greater heights we are all craving for. By the grace of the Almighty, we'll see you again in 7 days. Have a pleasant Sunday and good morning to you all.